Discuss the latest with the debt ceiling negotiations on Capitol Hill is Gordon Gray, president of the American Action Forum. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Let's start with Speaker McCarthy's speech on the New York Stock Exchange. He stressed the importance of fixing America's debt crisis, which has gotten worse over Democratic and Republican administrations. And he also took some time to score political points. Let's listen to what he had to say, and then I want to get your thoughts on the other side.
Without exaggeration, American debt is a ticking time bomb that will detonate unless we take serious, responsible action. Yet, how has President Biden reacted to this issue? He has done nothing.
Give us a sense of why Speaker McCarthy decided to go to the New York Stock Exchange. What's he trying to do here? What point is he trying to make?
Well, I think the optics are fairly clear there. The New York Stock Exchange is a symbol of a free market capitalist economy. There's also this separate element of communicating directly with participants in financial markets. A severe disruption to global financial markets would be a consequence of any potential default, technical default, or even perceived default. And I think it's important for the speaker to be seen as engaging with financial market participants and showing that he's aware of the risks and the stakes at play.
Do you think that there's anything that he put on the table yesterday that would be palatable to the Dems at all, or is it a complete non-starter? Biden puts down his budget, they go non-starter. McCarthy puts down his proposals, non-starter over here. Is there anything, once cooler heads prevail and the initial drama subsides, that you think these two sides actually may agree on?
I think sort of dueling proposals and failed votes is part of the script here. Is that each side has to. And I believe Kevin characterized this proposal well as an opening bid, and that's what it is. And in fact, there's a lot here that that Democrats will not agree to. But there's kernels of the beginnings of potential negotiations, particularly with respect to discretionary spending. There's an appetite and there's some room there. We've seen this in the past. The Budget Control Act was a discretionary spending cap regime. We survived under that, so that's. There's some room there. On some of the other elements in the proposal, no, Democrats aren't going to go for that, and that's why it's a worthwhile opening bid.
What about the political dynamics of all of this? Like, who is helped and who is hurt politically? Because there's been some polling on this, and there's some nuance to polling. Some saying the majority support an increase in the debt ceiling in exchange for spending cuts. So a majority of the country backing McCarthy's plan. But at the same time, if you ask people if they would like for these two issues, spending and debt, to be separate, the majority thinks that should be the case. So it's a little bit confusing to kind of sort through the tea leaves here.
Yeah, I think it's a bit early in this process to really bet on an outcome or the optics of an outcome right now. I think history has proven that the President of the United States has a very large microphone, and I think history has proven that tends to be a significant advantage in similar instances. So I'm skeptical of the notion that if Republicans are perceived as animating a lot of the Sturm and Drang around this, that they'll come out looking strong. So I think there's some risks attached to that kind of thinking.
And to be clear, what the speaker outlined yesterday was significantly narrower than what he and some members of the party were discussing just a few weeks or months ago. So they've already kind of backed down from some of their more dramatic proposals. So maybe that's a hint to the White House. So we've taken it down a few notches. Why don't you, now your turn to move. And that's the game of chess that gets played. But again, no matter who's running Congress or who's in the White House, the reason this gets so much media attention for folks that hear debt ceiling and tune out, which I understand, it's dry stuff, is basically America's ability to pay its credit card. And that's an important point because these are bills that we've already racked up. This isn't new money. This is a move designed to raise the ceiling to pay bills we've already accumulated. And and in layman's terms, if we miss the mark and default, which America's never done, what would be the effect on everyday people? In other words, why should folks care about the folks in Capitol Hill yammering once again over something as dry as the debt ceiling?
So fundamentally, I believe that the United States has the technical capability to pay its bondholders on a timely basis if we run out of borrowing authority. But even the perception of a default, if we stop paying some bills to pay others, I think global markets will correctly view that as a failure of U.S. governance. And I think that ordinary Americans, as you say, will pay a price. And that price will be paid through higher interest rates. So every single one of the financial transactions that many Americans sort of rely on to live their lives, borrow money for homes, send their kids to college, credit card bills, auto payments, all of these things will get more expensive, and there'll be an overall cost to the economy. So then that's risking people's employment at a time when, quite frankly, I think a lot of us don't exactly have the fullest confidence that our economic outlook is particularly strong. So it's just tremendous amount of risk for, depending on what they negotiate around. There's some potential savings and reforms, but it's a dangerous game.
So,
I'm sorry.
a boring topic, but massive implications.
Exactly,
is the
that's
bottom
my
line.
And everything you just said in the context of still ongoing inflation and the Fed continuing to raise interest rates. This would compound all of those problems we're already dealing with. So thank you for putting it in real human terms, what this would mean. Hugely helpful. Thank you. Gordon Gray, President of the American Action Forum. Appreciate your time, sir. Thank you.